History. 1971, my mother signed me up for a dance troupe. She told me, a gentleman ought to know how to dance. And so she signed me up for tap and jazz and ballroom. Had my father approved, which he didn't, I might have even been signed up for ballet. I think I would have really liked that. At any rate, I learned tap and I learned jazz and I learned ballet, and recently, going through some old papers, I came across the program of my very first recital. There exists somewhere a film of that recital, and what you will see in that film are 11 young ladies and gentlemen dressed in canary yellow shirts, button-down shirts, and black trousers and black skirts. 11 of them huddled towards the curtain behind them, going through the motions, doing what they had been taught, looking at their feet, dancing. And there'll be one little asshole up near the front of the stage, into the music, going with it, largely sticking to the choreography, but also in a big way doing his own thing, mugging to the crowd, throwing his arms wide, exaggerating every move for the sheer joy of, for the very first time in his life, being put in a spotlight. My mother was thrilled. My father was embarrassed. Young man in the crowd that night saw this little asshole up on stage going for it for all he was worth, and stopped us in the lobby on our way to our car. He was putting together, or was auditioning. He was auditioning for a musical called The Music Man, and he needed a young man, a boy, to play a part. And the part required the boy to sing and follow some really easy choreography. I didn't need to audition. I had the job. From that time forward, I spent a lot of time on stage, sometimes to the detriment of my studies. My parents didn't approve of me leaning as hard as I did into the arts. My mother was a little bit better than my father was at handling that. But all through elementary school, high school, and on into college, I did plays and I did musicals. As I got a little older, I started fronting rock bands. I kept my feet on the stage. I did not pick up magic until I was 27 years old. And at 27 years old, I finally found the vehicle that moved me forward, that allowed me to tell the stories the way that I wanted to tell them. Magic incorporates a rich variety of a lot of other arts. Had I not been into theater, had I not studied speech and speaking in front of crowds in college, I might be a very different performer than I am today. I learned to embrace the story and to use the art to color it. And that's what brought me here. If you are going to be a magician, if you are serious about this particular art or craft, there's a lot you have to learn before putting it forward. All of the best magicians that I know, the worldwide travelers, the ones who are held up as heroes by those of us out here in the trenches, all of them studied arts of different kinds. All of them brought their own personal, unique experiences into the performance that they're doing. I was a little boy on stage who just could not contain his exuberance. I have learned to contain my exuberance, but now I use it like a laser. I pull all the energy together and I direct it in the directions that I want it to go. As for my magic, I want it to contain reality. I want it to contain a humanism. I want to be able to interact with the people in front of me. But more than all of that, because it is magic, I want them left with a deep-seated feeling of mystery, a level of impossibility. I strive every day to be a better performer and to produce better magic, even if the tricks don't necessarily change the impact and the information and the way they are received is what I'm striving for. On this channel, from this day forward, having spent over a year, over 14 months really, off of my stage, out from behind my bar, away from the crowds, I came to the decision a couple of days ago that it's time to be more of a teacher. It's time to take some of these things that I have learned and try to express them this way. I'm going to try to teach you how to be a better performer. I'm going to try to give you some ideas, instructions, inspirations, light on your path that could make you a better performer. I don't think you should try to be a copy of me. I'm not the best there is, not by a long shot. I'm the best there is at being myself. I'm the best there is at telling my stories. And I'm going to show you how I do it. So this little video is just to ask you to stick around. I could certainly use your feedback. If there's anything you'd like to say in the comments, I'll try to answer your questions. I'm going to be a lot more present. And I'm going to do these things the way that I want to do them. Recently, I've received a lot of advice from very well-meaning friends and people that love me dearly about what my channel ought to look like, about the way that I ought to reach out to certain demographics or check my analytics. I've always made my art for fun first. I've always been the little asshole up on the front of the stage, not exactly following the rules. I could have followed the choreography exactly the way I was taught to, but there was something inside me that just went, no, I have to dance. So, thank you for your advice. I'll do my best to really look at it and try to take it to heart. But I do my art for me, and I try to love the world through the art that I do for me. You got to put on your own air mask before you help others, right? So this is to help me. This is to bring my spirit back. This is to bring my magic back. And I'm going to do it as hard as I can and as loud as I can. I hope there's love where you are. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Could use your help and your support. If you'd like to become a patron, my Patreon is available in the description below. Also, I have books and ebooks for sale, tales of my adventures and some lecture notes on the tricks that I have created and perform, as well as, the usual swag, the t-shirts and all the things that are just right below me, right down there. I hope you keep watching, and I look forward to seeing you live and in person someday soon. I hope there's love where you are.